El Corto podcast. My name is Tanya, and this is my brother Miguel.
What's up?
Hi.
We're back.
We are back. Episode 3.
We made it this far.
Yes. Thank you for all the support, all the likes, all the comments, and all of that, honey. We are here with a very special guest. I feel like I say very special guest because all of my friends are very special to me.
We were looking for a very special guest, but nobody could make it, so we got this guy to show up.
No, we were like, we want somebody with very special hair.
Yeah, there we go.
Alex!
Y'all went down the list.
No! You are out of all the people I know, I feel like you have the best hair. Right?
I'm sure that's said a lot to you.
Well, today it's a bad hair day.
Oh,
I'm sure y'all can tell.
No, I was like, wow, he really went to the salon. Alan, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me. And it's very good to see y'all again.
I know,
Very,
it's
been a long time.
A long time.
I tell my dad it's been like probably a couple of years.
No, it's been longer than that.
I think so.
I think it's been like 5.
Probably.
Like he already has 2 kids.
I got 2
Your
kids.
little
I
boy's
know.
about to graduate college. I'm just It's been a long
that,
time.
That will probably be next year.
Yes. All right. So I feel like how we met, let's start with there. We're like the same age, but I don't think we like ever hung out in high school.
No.
I think you were too popular for me.
No. Well, I mean,
Yes.
Loser. He was one of my bullies.
He was. Sorry,
wait, hold on. Did you go to Lee?
No.
No.
No, okay.
That's why.
That's why.
I went to John Tyler.
Wait, who was it that you used to not like, but then y'all became friends?
Alan.
No.
Angie. Shout out to
I
Angie.
remember that story.
Yes. No, and then I feel like you guys became friends first.
Yeah, I met him first through MySpace.
Through my...
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was MySpace.
MySpace days.
It's a funny story because I was learning music, just overall. I like to play the drums at the time, and then nobody in John Tyler played rock. You know what I mean?
No.
Everybody was into other stuff, and nobody was into rock music. So one of my friends, shout out Eliseo too. Long story, but he ended up moving to Lee from John Tyler. So I hit him up on MySpace. I was like, "What's up, Eliseo? You know anybody out there that plays?" And he was like, "There's this guy. His name is Alan," and blah blah blah. So then I hit him up on MySpace, and we just talked there. But the funny part of the story that I was like, "Hey, yeah, this guy." He was like, Alan is like, "I don't know who that is," and I think till this day he knows who that is.
I remember the name, and I was wondering he brought that up because I was like, I remember some dude named Eliseo.
But you don't remember, like for him to be like, "Oh my God, my friend Alan."
Yeah, when he told me that, I was like, does he know me through soccer? I was confused.
Hey, he still don't know who Eliseo
We're
is.
gonna have to show you a picture by the end of this podcast, okay? Next time you're in town, we need to do a reunion with Eliseo,
With Eliseo.
so you can finally meet him.
Yeah, yeah.
A meet and
Yeah.
greet.
Yeah.
Because like up until this point, everything trickled down from this guy.
Yeah. I mean, he really did. Yeah, we either gotta thank him or punch him, depending on
right.
how you feel about it.
So you guys started talking, and then
Yeah, so from there I would just like same thing. Like I asked him. He said he played guitar, and I remember just being like, "Hey, what songs do you recommend to get started?" He gave me a couple songs, and then we just kept talking music from there. And then one day they needed a drummer for a band at Nico's local club here in Tyler. Local legend Nico Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out, Primo.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
We
cousin.
gotta get Nico in here too. And yeah, so they needed a drummer, and that's the first time that we actually met in person at Nico's rehearsing. And it was this guy. What was his name? He played the bass and he sang.
Was it Roberto?
Roberto. Yeah.
Yeah.
They call him like Robertinho or something.
Robert? Yeah, I don't remember.
And then
I would always call him Roberto.
yeah, and it was like it was them in the band, and they just needed a drummer. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how we started that was our first sort of a project. I just jumped in there and played a couple of shows. Those guys went back to the Valley where they're from, and
I was gonna say, I think whenever we started chatting through MySpace, shortly after is when it was, me trying to put a band together or something.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, because after that, that's whenever you're like, I think you had already wanted to start something, and we met that guy Eric. Remember Eric?
Eric, yeah.
And he played guitar too, and then Guti, right? Guti was a drummer.
Didn't I tell you at the beginning, like, I'm because I knew that you were starting out.
Yeah. No, yeah. He didn't want me his band. First of all, he did not want me his band.
He
like,
said, "You're kind of funny, but that's about it."
You look funny.
You look kind of funny, honey.
I remember, man, I'm looking for someone that's more experienced and has, already knows how to. But he's like, no, I'll get it down. No, sure enough,
Well, I didn't even have a bass. Like, I borrowed one from a friend. I was like, hey, I know you ain't using it. Then borrow that bass.
Good thing you didn't tell me that, because I would have been
No, but I like fake it to me. I like, dude,
Right.
don't worry about me. I got it, man. Don't even worry about it.
Yes.
Got that bass right here.
One thing
Oh,
about
man, that's
Mikey,
funny.
he believes in himself.
That's the
okay?
one thing.
Yes.
Hey, man, that's
Fake it
that's
till you
what-
make it.
that's
Fake
what
it
it's
till you
about.
make
You
it.
gotta believe in yourself.
That is so cool. Yeah, and I mean, after that, y'all were just like band after band, and
Yeah,
Can we clarify? I was the number one groupie,
that was true.
number one
That was true.
fan.
Number one fan.
Yeah.
I don't remember most of your shows, but I was there. Okay.
I don't think none of us do. But it was good times. I mean, there was like nothing here in Tyler. No music scene. And thankfully, like a couple of places opened up their doors for us to be able to do something like the Tyler indoor plays, and then DJ Mariscos was allow us to do our mess over there. You know what I mean?
Oh
We're
my
like
God, yes.
we're playing like Guns N' Roses at a Mariscos place. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's interesting you bring that up, because I don't think no one else in Tyler has done that.
No, not like after us. For like years later, some like doing corridos and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the only guy, and they did it for a while there at a same place at an indoor place, but that died down too. And but yeah, we're literally the pioneers.
Like being able to do, we had the rock stuff and the rock en español. Like
Yeah.
the 80s, the classic rock stuff,
Yeah.
and the rock en español. Like, I mean, I think that we could have kind of pushed it a little bit to be well established with that, but like nobody else is doing that.
Yeah, and that was our thing at the time. I don't know if you remember, we were like, we don't want to burn out the places, because we only had like 2 venues in Tyler that we could play at, and it was like, if we play here all the time, it's gonna just get burned out.
Yeah.
But I mean, thanks to y'all doing your little band thing, y'all got to do some pretty cool stuff.
No, yeah, we played in Dallas a couple times.
Yes.
Met some really cool people.
Yeah, we
That hookah bar.
Oh, that hookah bar.
That
That time we
all
won like
bands.
$1,000, $2,000.
Yeah.
What was it? That was pretty cool.
Um,
Went to California. That was pretty
yes. I think that is like one of like my favorite memories of like my life.
cool. No, yeah, no.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we all, because like
I wasn't even playing. Okay, I was just there.
we were all young, broke, and like just ready to party. You know what I mean?
Well, and then we were like, we're only gonna drink Jack Daniels and Mexican Coke.
Oh yeah, and Pacificos.
Pacifico.
Oh, God.
That was like our stupid diet that we started on the way there.
That's what it was.
And then my thing was, I don't know how you do it or how you did it, but did you not have like a ticket to come back or something?
No, he was supposed to come back with Joey and everybody.
Yeah.
Right? You were supposed to drive back, because I flew back with all the girls.
Oh yeah, you. I forgot that y'all flew back.
Yeah, and you and
How did you make it back?
In the Greyhound.
the Greyhound. Yeah, because Andre and I stayed probably
Yeah.
like 3 more days.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. See, I'm the type of person that like, I need a plan. I need to know where I'm sleeping. I need to know that I'm going to be back home. And I remember we were like getting ready to go, and I was like, oh, when is your flight? And you're like, well, we don't really. I was like,
We
oh
don't really
my
got our way
God.
back.
Yeah. I was like, I think
And
he
then
wants to stay
side,
here.
side note too, like shout out to Andre. Like I had never met Andre till that day, and we drove with Joe and Tina, and the whole time, even in LA, we were there and we were walking everywhere. Like I said, we were broke, and there was no Uber, none of that at the time, and we just kept walking everywhere and walking here and walking there, and like 3 days in, we realized my boy Andre done got a leg. and that man did not complain once.
No, I was complaining the whole
Yeah,
time.
I was like, bro, like,
Yes,
like
shout
until
out
one
to
day,
him.
yeah, like I think
Yeah.
one day he like touched his shoe, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot you don't got a leg, dude. Like,
Oh my god.
shout out to Andre too. I don't know what he's got going on, but
I haven't seen him in a while, but I need to
Need to
visit
hit
him.
him
It's
up.
been a
to
minute.
hit him in the podcast.
Yeah, tell him we said hello.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in
Good,
a
good
long time.
people.
Yeah, those were like so like we were so careless. I feel like
We really were like, yeah, and I mean that was a place in the time.
right. You
Yeah.
were just living your life. Honey.
I mean, yeah, we were young.
yeah.
How old were you?
Well,
I was like, what, 24, 25?
I think I was just like 21,
yeah.
yeah.
So we were probably like 23.
23, 24, yeah.
Because we're not that much older than Mikey,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, I'm about to hit that senior citizen discount.
Yes. So, Alan, if we can kind of talk about a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you do, what do you like, any secrets? I'm just kidding.
Well, besides, the music thing, it's been fitness, and I was working with a firm out there in Dallas, and that's where I, basically was doing more of, living over there, and it was just something that I completely wanted to try, like, sales, and it was like a door-to-door gig, and it was business to business, sneaking behind those instead of going to the front, I was sneaking from the side of the building, from the back, and just to get in front of the people that I needed to talk to. But yeah, that's what I was doing, while I was over there, as a kickboxing trainer as well. And then when I wasn't doing that, I was on daddy mode. So
How old is he now?
he just turned 7 in April. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild because when I went out there, he was like 2.5.
Yeah.
And now I can have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
yeah.
And one thing that I always waited for is like I can't wait to just sit down and have a conversation with my son when he's able to talk, and then kick the ball, with him. And that's like it just happened really fast.
It's crazy to see, like, you see the little human, and then, like you said, they grow, and then you're like eager to see their personality develop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you're
That's
like,
it.
how's it gonna be? Is he gonna be like serious? Is it gonna be funny? If it's gonna be like, like, is he gonna like to play soccer? If he's not gonna like it, gonna like football or something, So that's pretty cool that you get to see that with your son. And
Yeah, he's a funny kid, that's for sure. He's the best, and I love him very much. And there's just moments where I'm just like, where did he come up with it? But at that
right,
at that age, you're just a kid. You're pure and no filter.
right, yeah,
As we get older, the world, kind of fucks us up.
you start being more aware and fearful. Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
you're
start
just more careful.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say that, or like, oh, these people are. I don't want to be rude, but
Right,
they're
right.
just funny things that kids say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be, on Instagram and stuff, I see how, like, you are very, like, hands-on with him and, always playing soccer, doing this. Didn't you, like, break your foot or something? 'Cause this man was doing, like, push-ups and sit-ups, and I was like,
Kick
sit
flicks
down.
with one foot. Yeah.
Please sit down. He was, like, jumping in the snow. I was like, Alan, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fractured my heel, the calcaneal on my left foot.
I hate it when I fracture my cocaine.
Were you like dancing duranguense too hard?
No.
Tribal.
Tribal.
I just had a little too much to drink, and there was a bar fight broke out. Somebody got too close and just threw the kick,
Oh,
Did you
And
really?
it just-
oh my god!
no, that,
You put your foot out to trick them.
but that sounds a lot cooler than the way it happened.
I thought
Yes.
there's no way this guy.
I was playing with my niece after a game, indoor soccer game. She was playing on her own with the soccer ball, and started playing with her too. Because after the game, we were just having some drinks there inside the pub, inside the complex. So that's what I should have just done. Just sat my ass down. Kept
Shut
drinking. But she, I saw, high energetic me. I see that she's playing on her own. So I'm like, I'm going to go play with her. So I'm kicking the ball with her. And my dad's there, my brother, my girlfriend, and the guy that had the team. They're just drinking, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go,
Play with her.
So she kicks the ball. Remember the indoor soccer complexes, there's the wall.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then there's a net behind the walls, and then where the goal is, the wall gets higher. So she would kick the ball over the goal, and I'd go up there and knock it down. And I think the second time I go up there, and I'm not gonna ask management for the ladders on my crazy ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get the ball, and instead of just dropping down from the wall, I just kind of push myself off the wall. So I'm jumping backwards. So it's not like you're not landing facing forward. So I just kind of pushed off, and then
Oh no.
I landed wrong.
Okay, we're just gonna tell people you got in a fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut this clip to the bar fight.
Just edit that.
Yeah.
Well, when I dislocated my foot, I had people were like, "Were you drunk?" No, I literally had just gotten to the club. I was going to the dance floor, and I missed a step. And it was game over.
Wait, what did you do?
Literally, like, my bones, like, shifted. Because I guess I, like, stepped like this.
Oh, okay. So you rolled the heel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was the most expensive visit to the club I've ever had. And then after that, I still went out, yeah.
Man.
Bad things happen at the club.
Bad things happen at the
I
club.
remember one day we were at this club in Tyler, and then one of my buddies was pretty drunk, and he was trying to chug his beer or something, and then he was like, "Oh, bro, look, I think I chipped my tooth." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" So I pulled my phone, and he's like, "Touch it." I'm not touching your tooth. And he did, like, chip, like, because he slammed it.
Well, no, I don't want to out this person, but who was it? The one that, like...
I remember I know exactly what you're going to go.
Yeah.
With the beer?
Yeah, I'm not going to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
know.
not gonna say it.
I know exactly what it was, too.
We know who you are, honey. And when you listen to this, you're
Yeah.
going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe,
Right.
like, share. If not, we're gonna call you out on the next one.
Yes. Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you kind of started the music as a hobby, right?
Oh, no.
Like something that you...
I was already, like, set. I'm like, okay, like,
This is what I want
this
to
is
do.
what I want to do.
Well, but tell people how you got in, or how did you find out that you were interested in music?
Oh, that you're like so talented.
Well,
He's okay. I mean,
I try to, again, I fake it till I make it.
there you go. I
still
taught him a
don't-
lot
I still-
of what he knows.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Follow him on Instagram, and every video is after a lesson with me.
No, it was, growing up with, our family, athletes, football, or as we know it here in the U.S., soccer. That was it. But no, what happened, it was in, I want to say my junior year, whenever I hurt my back. I injured my back, which took me out the whole season. And I couldn't do shit. So I remember the doctor's like, no, you just have to sit it out and just wait until your back heals. And I think it was off of a push or something. There was something wrong with it.
You see what happens when you push off of things?
There was a vertebrae here that I hurt, and it was during a game, or I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It had to have been that, because I couldn't think of how else could I, have hurt my back. And then my older brother had an electric guitar that he never really picked up at all, and it was at my mom's. And I remember in middle school, she was pawning off some things, and she asked me like, do you want this guitar? I'm like, otherwise I'm just gonna sell it or pawn it off. I was like, yeah, maybe one day I'll pick it up.
Right.
Years later, this is when all this happened. But it was there, you know, over here opening up the case, dusting it off, because I already had it, you know, at that point. And I was like, okay. I've always been intimidated by the instrument because you see all the little squares.
Right,
you know,
right,
You just
right.
don't know.
Yeah,
You're just naive. You're just like, man, there must be a million notes on this thing. How the hell am I gonna learn? And so yeah, no, I just had to figure out how to like tune the guitar. I was a percussionist in middle school, so I had a bell set, or like, you know, looks like a xylophone, but it has the notes.
The notes, yeah.
So when I went online, and I was like, okay, so this string has to be this note or whatever. And I'm glad I didn't I didn't break any strings. But once I figured that out, I had to learn how to read the tabs, you know, a few chords, and it started off with.
Twinkle,
It was-
twinkle, little star.
I'm trying to remember, man. For sure, like the early stuff was, you know, like Nirvana,
Yeah.
you know, Audio Slave. You know, we're '90s kids, so it was that kind of stuff that I was, you know, kind of attracted to at the time. Then as I noticed, I was just learning. I mean, I was spending a lot of time with it. So, you know, I tell people that I was extremely obsessed.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay.
We know.
I was
Till this
extremely
day.
obsessed. It was, you know, it was just different. And I noticed, I'm like, okay, like I'm getting onto something here. And then that was the same year, I think, that it had to have been the same year that Guitar Hero 2 came out. Because whenever that game came out, you know, there was music that's, you know, it's guitar-oriented stuff. So
Yeah.
I was getting to some of that into some of that stuff because my friends would skip class to go to Best Buy to play that game. And after I started,
Which friends? I'm saying. Let's call them out.
I'm sure y'all know some of them. But I remember, I'll never forget the day that I went to go with them to play that for the first time. I think we were in second period. I was in social studies, and my homeboy Isai, he's like, hey man, we're gonna skip, you know, third period. You wanna come with us? We're gonna go to Best Buy. I'm like, for what?
Nerds.
Check out the deals.
Check out the gigabytes on
We're
this.
getting ready for Black Friday.
We're camping now, bro.
I don't know. And what's funny, it was like in September.
Around that time.
August, yeah, like, and I'm like, you know, for what? He's like, no, we're gonna go play that Guitar Hero, man. That's coming out and all this stuff. So I was like, man, are you serious, man? Y'all look dumb playing that little game.
Yeah.
With the guitar, man. Like, and then he's like, no, man, like I know you, man. I know you're gonna like it. It's gonna be fun. And you know, just for any excuse to get out of class, fuck it,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go.
You hear that, Benja?
Yeah, and so that's what happened. So we this is before Lee got, or high schools were all gated now.
Yes.
High security.
Well,
Gated
y'all-
communities.
Yes. I mean, I feel like Lee was pretty open range. Like you
Yeah,
had
I mean, you could literally go to China King for lunch and nobody said
Ken's
anything.
Pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm seeing them play, and I was like dead set, like I ain't playing that fucking game,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm seeing them play that. They're having a good time, you know. I was like, all right, let me play.
Yeah, yeah. Put on Black Magic Woman.
Yes.
But yeah, that's where kind of the playlist that I had. I'm like, all right, these are some cool songs. And then from there, like I just again from learning, and I'm like, okay. As I got better, all the effort that I had put into soccer over the years, I was like, man, like there's something here. Like there's like some sense of belonging. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. So all of that, I was like, I was willing to put that down so that I can really
Focus on
this. And yeah, man, I mean, my pops wasn't all happy about it at first, and I don't know how he feels about it now.
Because I was about to say, because like I mean, your family it has a lineage of
Yes.
like locally, and I mean with your cousin internationally, you know, of being good at soccer. I remember that goal your brother scored, right? At, like was it like the state final or something
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
My
In
brother,
Hidalgo or something like that.
Bertin, yeah. So he they didn't let him play at Lee for senior year, so he goes to the Valley out there at with Hidalgo Pirates.
With Hidalgo, right? Yeah.
And they end up winning the state championship, and you know, he scored some fucking badass goals.
Yeah. No, I remember that one. I think it's somewhere on YouTube, but yeah, and yeah. I mean, being like that. I mean, like as you say, like your dad. You know, same thing as like Hispanics or Mexicans.
Yeah.
You know, like there's one have that dream of making it, and y'all as a family seeing that it is possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have some sort of career. You know, and being like, hey, Dad, I want to play guitar.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Was your dad like, ay, Dios mío?
You know, I don't know. I never.
You never
asked
like
him.
was like.
It was never, you know.
We're bringing your dad.
Come on, Dad.
But yeah, no, just imagine, like, you know, at the time I was like, what, 17? So
Yeah.
since we were kids, like, that was it.
And I mean, like, because he would go to some of our shows too.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say.
So-
Your
so-
mom will go to
Yeah,
your
yeah.
show, so they're pretty supportive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at first it was like, oh shit, here we go. But I think once they kind of saw, like, okay, like he's
actually good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
That makes a
think if you would
difference
have been
too.
bad, they would have said, "Oh
you know,
God."
I mean, I feel like I would have known, you know. If
And there's
maybe
another
the
thing
same
too,
height
because
thing.
there's stuff that we all try, and
Yeah.
and sometimes you're not good at it, and then you're just like, even if you really like it, you kind of like just put it off to the side, and like you said, when you picked up the guitar and you were like, oh well, I'm kind of good at it, you know, like, or I'm catching on, I can make something out of this. That makes a difference, you know.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Because again, it's just I can't really explain it, but I knew that I was like, okay,
It was your destiny.
it was something. It was something, and if it was something that I liked, or if it was like a hobby, I wouldn't have pursued it the way that I have.
Well, okay.
You know.
But it all kind of started by just like, oh, there's a guitar. Oh, let me try it. Oh, I really like it. I'm really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, you've done a lot of cool stuff, like just you by yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, just when we were talking about, like, you know, in the early days, like with music, like the things that we were able to do without. I mean, we were just kind of like on our own doing this kind of shit.
Right.
And yeah, like I feel like I pretty much established myself on my own, trying to just kind of get myself out there. And it's not like I had any kind of like, you know, management behind me or anything like
Right.
that. So that, you know, it in a way kind of helped, not help, but I was like, okay, I have to like work harder at this. And I think that's one of the things that helped me stand out, because like I wasn't just like some mediocre dude that just playing the guitar. It's like,
Right.
oh, this guy's
Yeah.
actually like, you know,
Putting in the work.
Yeah, I'm here putting in the work. And I remember like the shitty ass gear that I had, and I didn't know it was shitty, but that's just what you know.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah,
know.
it's the best that you got. Yeah.
And you do, like, you know, like they say, you do what you can with what you have where you're at. So yeah, I was just very like determined. I was like, I have to get good. I have to be fucking badass at this shit, because I basically set up my other dreams for this side, which is,
Right.
football, you know, like
Yeah.
But that was crazy back in the day. Like, we were young and we were like making phone calls to Dallas, to club owners
I
and
know,
stuff,
man.
you know, to try to get us gigs and stuff.
And
you
I
know?
remember sometimes I'm like, oh man, it's crazy you got a hold of this person or whatever, because like that one show, Javier Batis.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Yes.
I think that was the first or second time that we had gone out to. Wait, what?
No, because
Dallas.
remember the first time we went to Dallas, we actually were playing opening up for that band Montenegro, which-
oh shit! Yeah,
which
that's
they
right.
actually like. They even had like a video on MTV and everything. Like, they were like pretty established.
Yes.
Which where we went and played, it was like a restaurant or something. And remember, we're
Yeah.
calling people out today. We're gonna tag you too,
Yes.
James. Your buddy James, remember?
Yeah, James.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Oh, he didn't show up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like it had snowed that like those 2 days before,
Wasn't it Super Bowl weekend?
and it was Super
Yeah,
Bowl weekend
Super Bowl
too.
weekend.
He probably just wanted to watch the game.
He's like, who the hell is Montenegro?
Like, no, I was like, no, I
And
don't want to drive in the icy road.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
and then
nice.
he said like his mother-in-law was like, or his mom, one of the
Not
two.
the mother-in-law.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
He said, my neighbor said that I can't make it.
Yeah, and he was like, nah, man, I can't make it. And then we were like, what are we gonna do? You know, and it was like our first time out there. We're like, we're gonna be the clowns in the town. Nobody knew us either way. But
Guti showed up.
no, he
No.
BB,
No, Bibi. Juan Robles.
BB, Juan, yeah.
Another guy that.
Same thing.
Yes.
Alan went over there. He was at SMU, right?
Yeah, I
He
think
was
so
at
at the
SMU,
time, yeah.
and Alan went over there like hours before and we're like showing him the songs.
Shout out to BB.
Shout out! No, he did great actually too.
Hell yeah.
And But that was fun. I mean, we were just doing crazy stuff. And same thing, like these guys from Montenegro, they had like somewhat of an established career.
Yeah.
And us, like, I went up to the guy and I was like, "Hey man, our drummer didn't show up. Can this random guy play your drum set?" And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead." You know, so
that was awesome. Yeah.
so that was pretty. So we went to like
Shout
all
out to Montenegro too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Are they
to
still
that.
there? I don't know. man.
We probably ruined their career.
After you guys play, they're like, "This is not what we
Yeah.
want to do with our lives."
Look at who we're playing with, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, that was crazy. And then we met the Javier Batis, which Google him. He's the one that taught Carlos Santana how to play guitar.
Yeah.
And that time we didn't even get to meet him because he like was hungry or something.
Yeah, so
Yes.
he didn't eat.
Yeah, he didn't eat it. He was like mad or something.
Yeah.
I want to be that type of famous. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
hopefully,
really
yeah.
don't want to like talk to you because I'm hungry.
Hopefully this podcast gets to that one day,
Right.
to where we can like set our boundaries.
Well, before I got here, I was like, "You guys, I'm feeling a little hungry. I'll just wait."
Yeah.
Just
He
call
was
me up
supposed
next
to be
weekend.
here at 8. He shows up. It's currently 11 p.m. My kids are crying because they haven't seen their dad. I'm just trying to make $1 over here.
Yes.
No, but yeah, no,
That time.
it was cool. It was a lot of fun when we got to play in Fort Worth with those guys.
It was like an adventure because I mean, we probably didn't really know what we were doing,
No,
but
definitely
we knew we
not.
were gonna have fun.
And I think that was the main thing because a lot of times it was costing us money
Yeah.
to play a lot of those things, and that's for a lot of like people starting out. You know, unfortunately, that's like you have to put in the time and the effort and the money, and sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes because we live in Tyler, and like we said, the music scene is dead here, and we're trying to go to Dallas and Fort Worth to where there was more of what we thought was an opportunity,
Yeah.
and out of that, really nothing came out of it in the form of career, but as in like memories and experience and all of that. It was great.
Oh
you know?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like she was saying, it was probably like, it was cool because like some shows your sister would show up, or sometimes your brother, like my sister was there, my
Yeah.
parents, you know, our friends, everybody would just jump on, and it was awesome, you know.
Yeah, I think me as being y'all's biggest fan, I think like when we went to California and we were like literally like in the Sunset Boulevard, like
Yeah.
I would have never. I believed in you guys, but I would have never thought that we were gonna make it
Yeah.
there. You know.
And that's another thing, same thing, you know, we're calling everybody out.
Yeah.
Joey, you know, Joey, shout out to Joey that he got us that gig. And same thing, it was a thing that in a way cost, and mostly him, you know, because he was
Yeah.
I know he bought a lot of tickets because there was like a minimum of tickets you had to sell, and he coughed up a lot of the money at the time. And same thing, like he gave us a ride there, he didn't charge us anything. And Tina was always supportive of us. Same thing, his wife, John and Jessica and their kids. I mean,
Yeah.
it was awesome. You know, it was like out of all the projects, you know, that one we kind of like pushed it a little further. You know,
Yeah.
And but thanks to like same thing, just the people you surround yourself with. You know, like Joey had that ambition of like, man, I want to do this and want to do that, and we did it. You know what I mean? And for us, it was like when we were just by ourselves, we were like, we want to play in Dallas, or we don't want to play here no more, and you just kind of make it happen, you know. If you really like, at the time we're so into it, and you make it happen, you know. And I think sometimes we lose that, you know, like as people, sometimes you lose that ambition or something, you know.
Yes.
And you stop pushing, and then, but the moment, like you said, like when you were saying at your old job when, or your current job, I don't know if you're still working there, but you were like, I have to go through the side and stuff like, you know, you were pushing,
Yeah.
you know, when something would have been like, hey, my name is Alan, okay, and they were like, no, thank you. And then you're like, okay, bye, you know.
Right.
But you had that ambition of like, man, you know, this is my job. It makes me money or whatever. I'm gonna try whatever I need to make it happen, you know. And we did that at that time with music, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
I guess if you got, because you know we do lose that as we're getting older. I feel like sometimes, even like with this, like doing the podcast, at first whenever you told me about it, I was kind of like, am I too old for this? Or like, is this gonna like?
Right.
But then I had to literally talk to myself to be like, this is just something fun. Like, what could happen? You know, if it
Right,
goes
right.
good, if it goes bad, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to try this. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
So, what would you tell somebody that is kind of questioning on following their dreams or their passions?
Like you were saying, because you were touching the subject of because this can be for a lot of things, but like you were touching the subject of music
Mm-hmm.
and fitness. You know, that's
Yeah.
those are two things that like people struggle to continue on to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay consistent,
Stay
still
consistent,
motivated,
yeah.
still.
And of course, that translates to a lot of things in life. You know, but
Oh yeah, no, it does because I was gonna say just a while ago that it doesn't matter whether or not if you're like a musician, and an artist or comedian, an entrepreneur or whatever. Like it's all you have to be persistent, resilient, and you just have to. Going back to what we were talking about at the very beginning, we believe we have to believe in ourselves, and try of course trial and error, and it's okay to make mistakes. A lot of people are afraid to make mistakes, and they won't take that risk.
right.
But that's part of life. Either take the risk of staying where you're at, or going to where you can get to.
Less a risk, carnal.
Hell
No,
yeah.
okay.
There's,
Do we need
there's
to make a shirt?
There's a price for everything that we do and
Yeah.
don't do. So
I mean, the other day we had Yadira here, and what was she saying? I'd rather die living or something like that.
Yeah, she said. Well, she was saying like that was her, like I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something like that. You know, that she would rather die living.
Because
You know,
she's like, she'll go like hikes, and she's like,
Yeah,
I
because
was
she like climbed up a volcano in Mexico, and like she'll go into like the jungle in Guatemala or whatever, you know, like, and that's what she was saying. She would rather, instead of just going to the mundane world of just the 9 to 5,
yeah.
she's like, she'd rather live on experiences more than material things and stuff like that. You
No,
know?
I 100% agree with that because we get caught up living, this life, right?
Right.
It's like, all right, once you're ready to retire, we're gonna be what 60, 65, and at that age, you just don't have the same energy that you do
Right.
whenever
Right now, yeah.
when it's the time to really live. And I think the people that have the opportunity to do that, they should just go for it. It's a big world out there, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to stick with. Not stick with music, but like why I was really like, I want to be able to play music and make people feel as good as I feel whenever I listen to music.
Right.
They forget about the real world for that hour or hour and a half that they're
Yeah.
enjoying the concert or show or whatever. And it's the same thing. Like if you have the opportunity to travel and see the world, like hell yeah, like
Yeah.
go do that shit. Now's the time, rather than thinking like, oh, most people my age aren't doing this, or like, oh,
Right.
why am I trying to do that? Like, am I too old for it, or like people shouldn't give a fuck about what other people.
And also,
We're
I
thinking
feel like
about-
we're kind of breaking that, like, because our parents are very much like, well, don't do this, because it's like, or you already have kids at this age, you shouldn't be doing this, or you have to work because you have to,
Yeah.
like, mantener a la familia and all of that. And I feel like sometimes I'm speaking out of me, but sometimes it's kind of hard for me to be like, well, I can take 2 days off and do whatever. Like the other day I went to a concert by myself, and I went to Dallas by myself, and I was like, oh, should I be doing this? But then I was like, yeah, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
why not?
why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Like, I was able to go. I went and had fun. I went to see a band that I really wanted to go see. I came home and it was fine.
Like if you're feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, that's like, whether it's our parents, somebody else's opinion. That at the end of the day, it's your life,
Right.
and you have your responsibilities and everything. But I'm not saying to do things irresponsibly, but like if you do it carefully,
If
and
you're able to do
planned-
it,
if
yeah.
you're able to do it, take advantage of that, because for some people that's a luxury. Others may not have that opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those things not to take for granted. But if you're able to do it, and it's never like, for example, our parents are from a different generation, right? And if they're not from here, so it's a different world
Yes.
that we're living
Right,
compared to
yeah.
what we're living. So for them, it's like, ten cuidado, or like, be safe, don't be risky, or if they're not used to doing that, they just want the best for us.
Right.
And
Right, right.
it's not in any shape or form malicious. It's just want us to be okay.
Yeah.
But when we have the opportunity to like take a risk with whether it's dangerous, whether it's going to be really fun or whatever, like, I think people should do it if they, especially, like if they're, when we're young, we have that time to like have an adventure or whatever, like,
Yeah.
it gives you experience. And then these are the things that you're going to be talking about
When you start a podcast.
when you start, when we're older. 'Cause,
what is the craziest thing you think you've ever done that's legal that you can say on here?
Man, I don't know which would be top one, but I've done too many.
He said,
Top
y'all
3,
got
I guess.
time.
Well, maybe this is gonna be for another episode.
Okay, let me ask you this. Out of all the places you've played and like all the people you've played with, which was like your favorite? Or the moment where you're like, oh my God, like I'm fucking good. Like, I'm about to be famous.
There's those nights where like, they tell you like, okay, you gotta deliver, or, you have to be consistent. But I think as a musician, or maybe it's just me, but as a guitar player, if that guitar tone is sounding good, if it's sounding good that night, I'll feel like I'm firing, like, and if it's not all there, I'm like, damn, because like
you
in the
feel
back
off.
of your, you just feel off.
Yeah.
And there's one that I can remember. This was with Circus. This was I don't remember what year, if it was 14 or 13. For sure it was before we went to California, but I believe it was Reno's Shop.
Yeah.
Deep Ellum.
Yeah. That's the night that we got into that wreck. Yeah, we.
Not calling
oh
people
man, that's
out
another
again.
funny story.
Yeah.
That is a story. Yeah, the car got totaled, and what's funny is like we were okay. My amp's still in his car, but it broke his window, and I still have that Marshall amp. It still works fine.
That's crazy. That's a
But
tube amp.
It's a tube amp, yes, mid '80s. But yeah, that was talking about like a crazy night. Like so my friend, our friend Isai, we were just
That
tired.
night was
It was
fun.
late. It was late.
He was actually
out.
not even drunk.
He
He didn't drink that night.
He did not
That's the
drink that
craziest part. That he didn't even drink that
Fell
night.
asleep
See, that's
behind the
why
wheel,
you
and
gotta drink.
yeah,
Be
it
alert.
was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and that was wild.
God.
So we flipped
Rolled
the
over.
car. It was wild, and we literally thought we had flipped over. That
The median.
when you're approaching Lindale,
Right.
the median, and we thought we were on the opposite side, and it was just good. And I remember that night, good thing that I put on the seatbelt, because right when I was like falling asleep, I'm like, should I put it on or no? Fuck, and I knocked out.
Oh,
And so did he.
He said, instead of him putting the seatbelt, he said, you know what, I'm out.
The driver.
Oh my goodness.
that I had, there's very few people that know about that. But
Well, now a bunch of people know.
yeah,
A lot of people didn't know about that.
no, a lot of people.
I don't think I knew about that,
You
honestly.
didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, they almost died.
I was
We
too
could have
busy
died.
eating
Yeah.
Sarah's Pizza.
Yeah, we were.
We went to
No,
get pizza
yeah.
after.
I think we went to like the Lizard Lounge.
Well, the reason we left so late is because he forgot
where he parked.
his car.
Oh my God.
And that's sober, Isai.
So Isai.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I don't
I
encourage drinking.
wanted to go
but-
help him, but the venue had already closed, and I told him, I'm like, look, my friend lost his key. He cannot find his car. So I was like, is it okay if I leave this stuff here? They're like, no, nobody's gonna be here. So I had to. I forgot how it happened, but I needed to jump over their. I don't know if you remember the back.
Yeah,
The backside, like there's like a big fence that I had to jump over to get like my bags and cables and shit. But obviously I can't carry that shit. The
Over
amp
that,
and
yeah.
the cabinet. So I left that on the other side of the fence, and I was like, man, if we leave, somebody's gonna steal my shit. So
Yeah.
I had that
Deep
fear.
Ellum.
Deep
Right.
Ellum, Dallas, Texas. So I stayed there for a while. I went with him for a few blocks and nothing. But yeah, it was like 3 in the morning. 2:30, and finally somebody came, but he somehow convinced, like if you just see, he somehow convinced somebody. He got in, inside their car, and he's
to
like
drive him around.
Oh my God! What?
Until he finally found
in
it.
the car, yeah.
And
because like nobody will help.
and you know what? I told him, I was like, dude, this is funny as shit, because if I saw your ass approaching me, roll up the window.
Stranger danger.
Aww.
But yeah, it's just fucking funny story.
And then and that's what happened, just because he went to go see us. You know what I mean? Like he was just like supporting us. He wasn't even playing with us.
It was a dangerous game to be a fan.
Yeah, no, life threatening.
Yeah.
But
Oh, poor Isai. Shout out to Isai.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing well.
I seen him the other day.
Really?
Yeah, he's doing well.
Now we
So
have
they're-
confirmed.
yeah, confirmed.
We have confirmed.
Confirmed
He's doing
sighting
well.
of Isai. He's doing good.
Good. All right, Alan. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming to our podcast, for having this. I feel like it was like a reunion of Circus, Voltage. We should-
Los Gunners.
Los Gunners. Yes, we should bring like the band back together
Yeah.
for one last time.
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's crossed my mind because like I'm out here spending more time here, after my foot injury and everything. So, it was funny when you hit me up a few days before that. I was thinking, like, what about doing some kind of like Spanish rock thing out here again, or every now and then. I mean, I don't know where everybody else is, but
I mean, it will
It could be
be
done.
Isai.
Who else? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cynthia.
Cynthia being a
I
mother.
mean,
Yeah,
like
it's a mom.
like Bayen. Shout out to Bayen.
Bayin.
Oh,
Bayen
yeah.
sus Bayenes.
Yeah, he always say he was our leader, that guy.
What was their name? Their band.
Oh, they
Shock?
Shock. Whenever they were playing at Nico's.
And Nico's,
Club.
yeah. Everybody playing in Shock. If you
Yeah.
didn't play in Shock, I don't want to talk to you.
Right. And then if you didn't play Lamento Boliviano.
Yeah.
En La Planta.
Yes. Oh my
No,
god.
but that was the thing. We were always like, hey, we're not gonna play the same songs. We're not gonna play the same
we're
songs.
not playing
And
música ligera.
yeah, and at the
I mean,
time
I
we're
love
like,
música ligera.
we were like, Lamento Boliviano, because it was like our go-to songs.
Or like Mana.
No,
Yeah.
so that's how it was with La Bamba. When we
Oh,
swore
La
oath not to
Bamba.
play that
Damn,
one.
shout out to Ricky, man.
But
Rest in peace,
what's
Ricky.
funny?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the funny thing is that's the first song that he.
That's
played
how we
with
met
us. That's
Ricky.
how we met Ricky
That's
at,
how we
at,
met
at
Ricky.
Nico's.
At Nico's, man.
He was there with Rowan.
With Rowan, yeah,
Rowan.
yeah. With yeah.
But yeah, like, and then he ended up,
Yeah, because they were there for a private party, and we were there rehearsing. I think we were gonna play that same night or something like that, and they were like, "Hey, do you mind if we stay?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. That's
and,
right. I forgot
and
about that.
we're playing with our ex-manager DJ George.
Yeah.
Oh, not DJ George, honey.
Shout out to DJ George.
No, shout out. Okay, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
And yeah, and then they were like, "You stayed," and then they were like, for whatever reason, they had him to jump in or something. Or I don't know if we were already playing La Bamba.
No, he had asked me, like, what songs do y'all know? What songs? I think we're trying to figure out.
Because we didn't have a singer at the time. Remember, you were singing at the time.
Yeah, and
That's when you know we
and
were
I
desperate.
don't even know how the hell we pulled off playing La Bamba because we never played that.
No,
before.
no,
we never
yeah.
rehearsed it. I mean, it's a simple song, but
Dun,
still.
dun, dun, dun.
And he goes out there, and
Killed it.
he was having a great time, and that's just kind of like where it started. But yeah, like I miss Ricky.
Yeah,
Oh,
shout out to Ricky, man.
There was also another, good stories, with him rehearsing
Yeah.
at his place at Royce's. Shout out to Michael.
Oh, Michael
yes.
Just again going back to like,
yeah.
the people that we meet, and then it's just you
Yeah,
just
how one thing led to
Yeah.
everything.
All
you
these
know, like,
friendships, all these
yeah,
memories.
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
people, and I mean it's for just one like conversation. There's just too much.
because I hit you up on
Yeah,
MySpace.
'cause-
Thanks to Eliseo.
To Eliseo, who he still doesn't know who the hell he is.
His whole life revolved
I
around.
probably should have laid out like a little timeline.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yes.
need to cover this and everything.
Next
but this-
episode, Eliseo will come out, tell us his side of the story, okay?
And how Alan ruined his life.
Yes. He became a criminal.
Felon.
A felon, yes. A stalker.
I had to change my name,
Yes.
my identity, and everything.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming, Alan. We love you so much. We missed you.
I missed you all very much.
And
as well.
we're so happy you're doing well, that you have a beautiful son, a beautiful life, and beautiful hair. Most importantly, beautiful
Not
hair.
today, but
But not today.
I mean,
Maybe tomorrow.
if that was a wig, I will snatch it back. All right, well, thank you guys. See you next
We'll
time.
see you on the next one.